Number 9 Studios presents, in association with Ground South, a D. Graczyk production, Pride and Prejudice, the condensed version, starring Devin Graczyk as the Bennets, the Bingleys, the other boring characters that don't matter, and of course, Mr. Darcy. Mr. Bennett, I want to annoy you with random nonsense. Great. Mr. Bingley! Mr. Bingley! Enough. He can marry any of you. Just stop annoying me. The ball! The ball! Squeak! Line dancing interlude. Mary being antisocial. Lizzie, you're gonna find somebody and it's gonna hit you like a brick. Doubt it. This isn't foreshadowing. Dramatic ceasing of music. Who's who? Bingley, his sister, and Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy? Yes, Mr. Darcy. More like miserable Darcy. No, it's Mr. Darcy for sure. Mr. Darcy's love at first sight glimpse of Elizabeth. Giggle. Here's my daughter. The two attractive ones, Jane and Elizabeth, and the antisocial one in the back looking down. Awkward small talk. Look, Mr. Bingley and Jane are already basically married. Do you dance, Mr. Darcy? No. Mr. Darcy? No. Mr. No. Darcy? No. Mr. Darcy, Jane is beautiful. Mr. Bingley, Elizabeth is not. Drawn out dance interlude. Charlotte is quite a great person too. Mr. Bingley, are you serious? She's uglier than a mule on a stick. Jane is the only one for you. Mr. Bingley loves me. Mr. Darcy's not one to love, but I don't care. Oh, shucks. Jane is bedridden at Mr. Bingley's. Good Lord, you look like a pig, Miss Bennet. Did you walk? Yes, Miss Bingley. Now stop your bitchin'. Ooh, officers, officers! Mr. Darcy, you write too much. Miss Bingley, you criticize too much. Mr. Darcy. No. Mr. Darcy. No. Let's have a ball! Dances suck. No, Mary! Mr. Collins is coming for Cousin Love. My piano! Shh! I'm stupid. We know, Mr. Collins. Let me read to you. I like Jane. No. Fine. Elizabeth it is. Mr. Wickham! Mr. Wickham! Come to the ball! Mr. Wickham, what's your beef with Mr. Darcy? Mr. Darcy sucks. Oh, okay. Miss Elizabeth, I want you. That's great, Mr. Collins. Miss Elizabeth, I want you. That's a little better, Mr. Darcy. A little? Mr. Darcy. No. Mr. Wickham, Mr. Darcy. No. Mary, stop that horrid singing. Marriage is soon. Mary, again with the piano. Elizabeth, marry me. No. Mr. Bingley is leaving. The world is over. Jane must go. Lizzie, I'm marrying Mr. Collins. Charlotte, you fail. Don't judge me! Lady Catherine de Bourgh, pleasure to meet you. Mr. Darcy! Mr. Darcy? Miss Bennet, do you do anything? No. Such low class. Play the piano. I can't. Too bad! How is Mr. Darcy in town? Mr. Darcy? Yes, Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy sucks. No. Yes, Mr. Darcy. No. Mr. Darcy! No. You broke in. No. Good day. Mr. Darcy! Miss Elizabeth, I love you. Marry me. Mr. Darcy! No. I can't? Why? You suck. No. Mr. Darcy! No. Jane's back! I'm over Mr. Bingley. Lydia, you suck. Kitty, grow up. We're near Mr. Darcy's? Yes. Let's not go. No, let's. Mr. Darcy's bust is so entrancing. Miss Elizabeth? Mr. Darcy? Miss Elizabeth? Mr. Darcy? Bye. Yes. Miss Elizabeth! Miss Georgiana! Mr. Darcy! Play piano with me. Only if forced. Miss Elizabeth, I force you. Mr. Darcy, no. Yes. Lydia fails. Mr. Wickham fails. Mr. Darcy fails. Miss Elizabeth fails. Mrs. Bennet cries. Lydia to marry. Mrs. Bennet cured. Mr. Darcy was at the wedding. Mr. Darcy? Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy? Mr. Bingley is back. Mr. Bingley? Be frantic! Mr. Darcy too? Mr. Darcy! Marry me, Jane! Finally, Mr. Bingley, yes! Jane is so beautiful, Mr. Bennet. Stop reading that god-awful book, Mary. It's boring me. Lizzie, you need to get married too. Jane, I need another Mr. Collins. Lady Catherine de Bourgh, what are you doing here? Elizabeth, are you engaged to Mr. Darcy? No, now get out, you wretched woman. Dramatic love music. Mr. Darcy. Miss Elizabeth, I love you. Your hands are cold. Forehead kiss. Father, I love him, and he helped Jane and Lydia BTW. So be it! Mr. Darcy!